Orji Uzor Kalu is a politician that is difficult to ignore. As a former governor of Abia State and one of the leading political figures from southeast Nigeria, Senator Kalu portrays different images to different people. But hate him or love him, he remains a key political figure shaping the polity in Abia State, southeast and Nigeria in general. He will be speaking with journalists Hangout on national issues. And thank you so much for joining us, Your Excellency. Okay. All right, Vicky, looking at, so we're still going to join Senator Orji Uzor Kalu. We're trying to get the connections right. But before we do that, talk to me. How will you describe Senator Orji Uzor Kalu? He's been a senator since, he's been in the game since 1999, first as a governor of Abia State, now as a senator. How will you describe, his journey so far in politics?
Yes, he's somebody who retains the capacity to step out boldly from adversity and make himself relevant again. He belonged to the 1999 to 2007 generation of governors, and he was very influential. Before then, he had been known for his generosity, always willing to donate money, whenever called upon. He showed his generosity, and when elections came, he did very well. And then he ensured the victory of his chief of staff, who replaced him after his constitutionally approved 2 terms in office. But they fell out after his successor, Theodore Orji, the man they called Ochendo Global.
Ochendo Global.
They fell out after his first term. Ochendo eventually came to the PDP. When Orji Kalu's new party was not doing well, he tried to come back to the PDP. Ochendo blocked his return to the PDP.
Really?
Ultimately, yes, because if you're in control, you can stop. To get into a party, you have to register at the ward level. So if they stop your registration at that level, there's nothing you can do.
You showed him that he calls the shots here.
Yes, so invariably, Orji Kalu found himself in the APC, and he's been winning elections since then. So he has shown that he could win election on the platform of different parties. He has shown that he remains relevant in the grand scheme of things, not just in the Southeast, but talking about politics in our country.
Okay, let's hope we've got connection. Our connection is back. Senator, are you with us now? Okay. Anyway, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we hope that the connection will. Orji Uzor Kalu joining us on Journalist Hangout this beautiful Monday. So, Senator, let's begin the conversation this way. Let's talk about politics in the Southeast. I mean, you have previously argued that the Southeast is marginalized. Do you still maintain this position?
Well, I can always tell you that the Southeast is not really marginalized. They put us out of scheme of things, which is not very good since after the Civil War. I did not fight the Civil War. I did not start the Civil War. I did not end the Civil War. So it will be very good for country to live on equity and sincerity so that we can be able to go on one stripe to develop the country.
Yes, there are many people who maintain that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu decided to embark on his projects to liberate the Southeast as a response to marginalization. Now there are calls for his immediate release. An individual even said he's going to lead a protest, for his immediate release. Where do you stand on this issue? And are you confident that should Nnamdi Kanu be released, security in the Southeast will be positively affected?
Well, let me say this. Nnamdi Kanu is before a court of competent jurisdiction, and it would be very, very unfair for me to be talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, which is before Justice Omotosha, discussing anything about that honorable court. And I urge Nigerians to learn how to respect the courts. And I want to leave that about respecting the courts for now.
All right, now, having said that, still talking about your party, with you as one of the key office holders from the Southeast, how well would you say the APC is gaining grounds in the zone ahead of 2027?
Thank you very much. When I joined the APC in the 2016, to be precise, I was the only senator from that area. There was no governor, there was nothing. And people of Southeast felt that I was mad to have gone into this solemn fight. And I was the only senator from the Southeast, and there was no governor, there was nobody from the Southeast. And we maintain that. I continue reassuring the leadership of the party that it will be well. We are working very hard to bring everybody on board. But the story is different today. The story is no longer what we saw in 2016. The story is different thing altogether, because everywhere you go, you see APC. Every corner you look, you see APC. And we're growing, and we're going to make a very big difference in 2027.
Are you confident that in the 2027 election that the APC has sufficient support now for the president to win some of those states? How do you rate his chances in the Southeast, given that he performed so poorly in the 2023 presidential election in the Southeast?
Well, it's very, very unfortunate. The 2023 election was taken with all amount of not too seriousness, but we didn't know that the mobilization people were doing would be what we saw. But now we are working very hard to our people, and you can see since in 2017 and 18, we have from no governor to 2 governors, Ebonyi, Imo, and by tomorrow we are going to be in Enugu. And I have said it time without number that we are working very, very hard in Abia to make sure that for the first time that both President Tinubu and the APC will do very well in our state. Remember, in 2019, President Buhari did very well in my constituency. He had 68.something% out of that area. It's because we didn't work very hard. And politics is about hard working. We have made up our mind and said it clearly that this is the first time that the APC will win in the presidential election in our state.
You talked about the fact that APC now has more governors, not just in the Southeast, but across our country than it had in the past. But I'm sure you remember that in the 2023 presidential election, APC lost at least 10 of the states where it had governors. So it would seem that this, the presence of governors doesn't always guarantee political victory. Don't you think you need to do a lot more than simply having far more governors than other parties?
My colleague asked me, how far have we done? I said, we have done very well. We have governors on board. That does not mean, I just told you that we are going to be working very hard because of new social investment, new investment being done in my state by President Tinubu, and all kinds of things being done in the area. Our roads are getting better and things are getting better. We were abandoned before, but President Tinubu have opened up the roads. So people are seeing this. And we're going to be doing more in the next 2 years. So I have no doubt that we will be on ground in our state to make sure that the president come out successfully and the APC.
But if there is, if the people of the Southeast can see a Southerner on the ballot, don't you think that the choice will be a lot easier for them to make? They will simply vote for their own person rather than the president.
Is the president a northerner? Is he not a southerner?
No, I'm talking about seeing an Igbo blood on the ballot now.
And when we get to that station, we'll cross. And I don't see any problem in our people voting rights. I am encouraging our people to join other Nigerians, where other Nigerians are going to be voting for. So there's no need of talking because we know President Tinubu is doing the work now and he has to do more. I know some aspect of Nigerians say they are suffering, yes, and it's true. So in reforms, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the essence of reform is to reform everything which we are doing. It comes with pain, but the pain is getting much, and we are going to make sure that I have just sent a bill before National Assembly, which I will plead with the Senate President to make sure we fast track the bill on social investment welfare, so that people will see what we are thinking about. We are really thinking to make sure that the Nigerian people have benefit of democracy.
Said there are improvements. In what areas are these improvements? You want to enlighten us?
No, let me give you an example. Before, we could not go from Enugu to Lokpanta, and we could not go from Aba to Port Harcourt. And all our internal roads, you can see the roads from Bende to Arishpu, the bridges are being built, and the internal roads in those areas are being improved. So there are lots going on in our plates in that area. There are silent developments coming up in that area. And I'm hoping that also in the 2026 budget that President Tinubu is going to be looking towards that end also.
Now, having said, talked about all of this, let's talk about the recent nomination of Professor Josh Amopitan as the next INEC chairman. Talk to me. What are your expectations of his leadership, particularly as he prepares for his first major test, in Anambra, a governorship election coming up November 8th? What are your expectations?
Well, what I expect him to do is to give Nigerian people free and fair election and be honest to the electorate. I never, as a person or group of people, believe in election rigging. We never thought about that. Since I started politics, I've always asked anybody don't rig for me, allow me, my people, to agree or reject me. So I expect the professor, who is the new chairman, to be able to do justice to all Nigerian people and do justice to people of Nigeria.
Election. Let's still go back to the chances of your party against the groundswell of opposition from the ADC And we are even hearing that former President Goodluck Jonathan is going to enter the race. He's going to be flying the flag of the PDP. There are those who have predicted that if President Jonathan enters that race, before 12 o'clock, he will have secured victory. How do you see the possibility of President Jonathan entering that race against the chances of your party?
Well, to be honest with you, Babajide, I don't think in the right thinking, I will not advise President Jonathan to go into the race. It's very risky for his integrity. It's very risky for what he has built on. He has been a statesman, and if I'm President Jonathan, I will not gamble it because it's a gamble. And even constitutionally, I'm not sure he's qualified to run. No Nigeria will want to exceed our constitution in executive. You know, the legislators can go as many times as possible, but the executive can only go 8 years, and it's there in the constitution. So it's constitutionally banned. If President Jonathan goes to run in 2027, means that he is violating our constitution. But he has his right to run. But I'm sure our party, we are very prepared to campaign, to appeal to the people, to continue give us 4 more years that will be fruitful to further reforms of the economy.
Okay, now they're still talking about that. I mean, the ADC is gradually becoming, a major opposition party in the country. But talk to me, your party, are you concerned?
Well, they have a right. We know everybody. We know all the people both in the ADC, Labour Party, and the PDP. We know them. They are our friends. We sit on the same table. We be in the same place. So we know them. We know their capacity, their capability of what they will offer to Nigerian people. I am only thinking that we're already in the middle of the Atlantic. They should allow us to swim up at the Atlantic, because this reform we are carrying on is a very major reform. This is the first time somebody will come up and say, stop to subsidy, stop to dual foreign exchange, right? Stop on all these things and develop new economic policy. And those who are joking with Dangote refinery should stop with it, because the Dangote refinery is going to bring a lot of prosperity to Nigerian people. And I'm also thinking that federal government should support everything being done in that area. So you can see that for no other thing, fuel is stabilized.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
Fuel is stabilized. Fuel prices are stabilized. Foreign currency is stabilized. And the market is gradually being stabilized, although that is not going into the masses. Capacity utilization of the industries are still very poor, and industrial average is not showing very good average on the whole. So for me, we have a lot of more work to do on our hand, but this is reform. I give you example of countries that have gone through this reform. Many years ago, China went through their reform, Brazil went through the reform, and that is where we are today. We need to call a spade and believe that free money should go from the system, and people should face reality and will build a real economy where everybody should enjoy.
Yeah. For you, are you still nurturing the ambition to lead this country someday?
Me? Why not? As a human being, as long as I'm human, I have ambition. I'll continue having ambition.
I'm president.
I can never die without having ambition.
I know if the particular
Why not?
ambition is to become president.
Why not? If I'm given the opportunity after President Tinubu, I will jump up for it. Why not? I'll be very happy to do that work. And I'm capable and competent.
Okay.
Okay, Senator, just stay with us, okay? We need to go on this quick break. All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. We still have Senator Orji Uzor Kalu joining us right here on Journalist Hangout. I still have BKO right here with me as well. So, BKO, you have a question?
Senator Orji Kalu, you are a very prominent player in the politics of 1999 to 2007. The third term agenda was also an issue that no one can say you are not knowledgeable about, because that happened while you were governor of Abia State and a prominent politician at that. The former president has said that he never discussed the issue of third term with anyone. He insists that he did not want third term and that if he wanted it, God will have given it to him. How would you respond to these claims that he had no plan for a third term and I never discussed it with anybody?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the man wanted third term. You could remember that when he was chairman of OAU, where almost he ran out his tenure, he wanted a third term starting from the OAU chairmanship. But few of those presidents planned with the United States. He carried the next meeting, which is supposed to be in Nigeria, he carried to Sudan, knowing that so many people will not allow President al-Bashir to be the chairman of OAU, so he can continue. But the United States and South Africa and Tanzania and Ghana, they planned a mini topple up and they removed him and put the president of Tanzania. That is how the president of Tanzania became chairman of OAU, of African Union, sorry. So you can see, we cannot be putting our history students and political science students to say there was no third term. There was third term. A lot of damages were done in third term. A lot of people suffered the injury of third term. May his soul rest in peace. Alhaji Mantu suffered a lot of third term, and I know what we did with him to stop third term. So I can elaborate and elaborate. Governor of Rivers State, Peter Odili then, also suffered. Mantu was not supporting him at the last minute. And we used Mantu to stop the third term. Adolphus Wabara is alive. And he can tell you what we did.
The third term agenda failed. Why?
Because it was not to the nation's interest. The beauty of constitutional democracy is time limit. And the time limit we had.
Why didn't some of you want President Obasanjo to do third term? Why? Some would say that your disagreement with him was personal. That maybe...
No. Let me be honest with you, Babajide. The third term agenda was very clear. You are sitting there with Benga, but you people might not be knowing what happened then, but you just journalists talking. Let me tell you, the third term agenda was real. The late Chukwumerije, they gave him money, and he brought it to me. And they were brand new notes from the central bank. So I asked him to go and give it back to them. They know what they did. They also know the role the foreign countries like United States played to stabilize our democracy, to know that one man cannot continue with this kind of show. Obasanjo wanted third term in every amount of honesty, and he told me he wanted third term. He gave me examples of past African leaders. He told me personally that he wanted third term, and I discussed that with him, and he discussed that with many other governors, and they are alive. If they are courageous enough, they'll come out and say yes, that he wanted third term. It's not good to teach our people how to lie. No, the day I discussed it with him in the villa, I told him it wasn't going to work. That I'm a very committed Christian. I took the oath with the Bible, and I'm not going to circumvent the Bible. I'm a Christian.
So it was just based on conviction, nothing personal about it?
Nothing personal. How can it be personal? I brought money they use in financing PDP. If PDP was a company, I own 90% of it. The only people with money when there was PDP were people like Atiku Abubakar, Yomi Edu. Those are people with money, and later on brought in a heavyweight like T.Y. Danjuma. Apart from that, people that were there had no money. All those people masquerading had no money in 1998. That is the truth. And I was a pay master of the PDP. I brought most of the money they used in doing what they did in 1998.
But at what point did your disagreement with President Obasanjo begin? Because some people point at his attempts to destroy your business.
No, the attempt to destroy my business was disagreement on third term. Because I was the one who informed those that are supposed to have been informed internationally. I informed President Mandela, I informed President Thabo Mbeki. He met with President Thabo Mbeki in New York. I informed President Bush, and President Bush sent for them. They went for a visit when Charles Taylor was busy from the country. So these are issues. I don't want to go too deep on this because maybe I should write a book on third term and Obasanjo to clarify that he participated.
Say maybe I was too young to know the true state of things, but let's talk about the Senate now. How will you rate the leadership of Senator Godswill Akpabio? How will you rate it?
Yes, against the backdrop of people accusing you people of being a rubber stamp.
A sitting senator don't rate Senate. It will be inappropriate for me to rate Senate where I'm sitting on. I left that for you to rate as a journalist. I'm not a journalist, I'm a legislator. We are sitting humbly, and we are sitting humbly in the Senate, and we are doing our job. There is no bill the president has brought that have been sent back. So we are doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Senator, people are saying that the Senate that you are part of is a rubber stamp Senate, that anything the president brings, you don't even advise, you just approve.
That is not a statement of fact. I'm sitting in that Senate, and the president knows that if he brings what is not right, there people like me are there. I work with the president. We worked together as governor in 1999 to 2007. The president also knows that I have a strong will. He knows I'm very strong-willed, and I can say what I want and what I'm. Let me be honest with you. What people are saying outside is different from what is happening in the Senate. The Senate and Senate leadership, we have integrity of doing our job, and the Senate leader have piloted the Senate very well. So the leadership of the Senate have done very well in terms of supporting the president for not getting into a problem. We need to help Nigerian people not to quarrel. If the Senate start fighting today with the President of the Republic, if we start fighting with the President of the Republic, the economic problems will continue. And we are trying to run away from economic problems to being so bad. So we are doing everything possible in chalking out the laws, the bills, motions. that will help the president overcome and implement to the people of Nigeria. So this is what we are doing. I believe that we're on track, and being on track means we're on track. We're on track.
Can you hear me, Senator?
Yes, Benga, I'm hearing you. Okay. So we're on track. And I don't like to discuss the Senate, because if you ask me to talk about the Senate, I'm sitting there. You should give me what you think about the Senate. And I'll say to your president whether it's right or wrong.
Okay. All right. Still talking about the Senate. I mean, many Nigerians people are worried. So let's talk about the borrowing, because the president recently presented a new borrowing request to the National Assembly. But many Nigerians, they find it, puzzling that the government continues to borrow, and while also claiming that the revenue is up. I mean, how do you respond to this?
No, mind you, Benga,
yes,
that the federal government, all the body committed is owned by the soft nations and the federal government of Nigeria. The federal government of Nigeria are bound to borrow because of the status of our economy. The economy worldwide are so bad, and you need borrowing to cushion the shortfall of your budgetary allocations. There is nothing wrong in borrowing. I'm a supporter of people borrowing. All the countries you have seen in far Asia, in Southern America, they did well, they borrowed. And if you do not borrow, you are just killing yourself. So it's what we are using the money to do. So the president is right by asking to borrow to cushion the budget. Because if you don't do that, you are going to be in trouble. Yeah, the revenues are coming up, but the usage of the federal allocation is very high, and what is going in needs to be borrowed. And we have not even reached to the limit of our borrowing. But what I'm saying, we must not borrow to pay salary, we must not borrow to buy toilet rolls or buy shovels. No, we must borrow for investment. So if we are borrowing to do what is right for the economy, expansion of the economy, I have no problem that, or development of infrastructures. So borrowing should not fear anybody. We must borrow at this time. All the world economy are down, and so we must cushion our own economy not to go down.
Let's talk
and
about,
to stabilize things we are doing.
Okay. Let's talk about what's going on in the states. You were a governor for 8 years, and more funds are going to the states now after the removal of subsidy. Do you think our governors are doing enough in terms of helping to cushion the effect of these reforms that have brought pains on people? Do you think the resources are being utilized sufficiently, given that they now have more funds at their disposal?
Let me be honest with you. When I came to be governor in 1999, the records are there, both you, Babajide, and Benga. The records are there. When I came first, the first allocation I had was 68 million. And the first time I got 1 billion naira was in November 2004. That was the first time Abia State saw a billion naira, was in November 2004. And after November 2004, we started having 1.2, 1.4 billion until I left as governor. So the governors, some of them are having 50 billion, 60 billion, 70 billion. They should make amend in what they are doing. They should be able to do what they're supposed to do with the money. The money is not only meant. Let me be honest with you. Some governors are doing very well. Some are not doing very, very well, because you can see fighting of insecurity is not only the president that should do that. It's the job of governors. When I was governor, you can leave your property in Abaumaya, Ruchuku, Ahafia, Okwa, everywhere, and the properties will be there. Nobody will touch it. I was governor and I sat down there with them and I made sure nobody. That was how I established the vacancy. I established vacancy to be able to safeguard people of our state, not to fight for husband and wife, not to fight for boyfriend and girlfriend, not to fight for people that feel it's their right to quarrel in their families. Vacancy was established purely to fight for crime, and we succeeded. And when I left, the crime came up again, because when I was there, you can leave your car in Aba and it's safe. You can leave your car in Omaya and it's safe. Nobody will touch it. Nobody will do anything. So I plead with the governors and people. Let them not think that security challenge is not for only Mr. President or for federal government. Security for all of us. Because people coming to virtually live in Abuja is a problem. Governors, local government chairmen, all these people should go back to their locality. They should not be stationed in Abuja or stationed anywhere. I know some few local government chairmen, they have never gone to their local government. So it is wrong. So if governors should impose on the local government chairmen to be where they can get the security challenges to their people right, they will be able to know that they are doing something good for their localities.
So what's your view on state police?
Well, to be honest with you, remember in 1999, I called on President Olusegun Obasanjo to do the state police. People came with all kinds of things, so it will not work. It's going to divide the country. It's going to do this and that. But I believe, honestly, that state police is what will solve many of these problems. Forget about what a governor will do. We only need to put appropriate law and sanctions on how they will be governed. And we will have our federal police stand by, which will fight any crime. I have supported state police all my life, and I still believe in it.
So what are the impediments to instituting state police in our country? Because Nigerians can't wait.
I don't see any impediment, whether it's an executive bill or private bill, we are going to do it. It's in the National Assembly. It takes an amendment of the Constitution. I'm sure we are amending the Constitution right away, and the Constitution will be amended. And we will get the ball rolling. I don't see any right-thinking senator who will not. We must get the rules of the state police properly. The rules of the game will be there. The rules of the federal police will be there, and the rules of the local government police also will be there. We must create all these things together so that people will know what we have.
The fear has always been that it could be used by politicians to go after their political opponents. They talk about what happened during the First Republic when the Native Authority Police was used by the ruling party in the north to go after politicians from rival parties. Don't you harbor this fear?
We must put a good sanctions to sanction any individual or group of people who want to use state police. When I was governor, we had the Bakassi there, and I put a good sanction against any individual or group of people who will use the sanction to do otherwise than crime. So it will be against the Constitution for anybody to use the police, to use the police or anybody to against an individual. We will get it right.
Let's talk about the state of the roads in our country, especially the southeast, and the ongoing coastal road project. How do you feel? Do you think things are improving? Do you think the coastal road is very desirable?
Well, you cannot query what the Federal Minister of Works said. The Federal Minister of Works say is necessary. I want to tell you, it's desirable. let me tell you, there's no infrastructural investment you do in any country that is not desirable, because the population is going up, people are expanding, things are expanding every day, people are going through, expanding to the sea. So coastal road is very, very good, and I'm sure it's going to bring development for us to start using the beaches. Once we get the security situation of Nigeria very well, then the coastal road will be a money spinner, because there will be houses, there will be movements, there will be hotels along the beaches from Badagry to Calabar. So it is important. It's a good investment. Now we can do it. Every investment is necessary.
Absolutely.
I commend President Tinubu and his team.
Absolutely.
And his team for that.
Absolutely. So nice having a conversation with you, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu. Thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout this beautiful Monday.
Thank you so much, Benga.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that was the senator representing Abia North Senatorial District and the former governor of Abia State, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, having a conversation with us. So, BK, just in 30 seconds, your key takeaway from this conversation.
Yes, I am happy that he's a big supporter of state police. I still remember Bakassi Boys when he was governor, instilled fear in criminals.
Yes.
And that part of the country was largely very safe. So he's a big supporter of state police. I hope that we can find others like him
that would
come together and say, look, state police is so desirable at this time. Let's do our best to make sure that we have state police. We want to see it happen during the current leadership of the Senate. And National Assembly generally. So I'm happy that he stood for that. And of course, his views on third term have not changed.
Yes.
And I think listening to him, I'm convinced about who was lying.
Okay.
Between him and former president.
Absolutely.